Hello, fabulous superstar Capricorn. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of November 2023. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. It is a remarkable astrological month, without a doubt. Big moves happening in the sky now. Boy, is this a very special time. The 13th of the month brings with it this month's new moon. And the new moon takes place in a part of the sky for you that has to do with friendships and group alliances. That is the overwhelming way that most Capricorns are going to experience this energy in the context of those group endeavors, whether professional or the more personal friendships in your life. Some may also experience this in the context of really big opportunities, and also the hopes and wishes that you have for your life in some way becoming illuminated or opportunity becoming more clear. This is a very powerful new moon. It is connecting with all kinds of power players, and it has this very surprise and intense quality to it. There is adrenaline, there is provocation, there is the unexpected, and a big wild card factor here as well. So let's talk about specifically what characterizes this new moon. It is close in the sky to Mars. Okay, so that in and of itself is huge. Mars, so close to a new moon, brings with it that adrenaline, that urgency, but also that excitement as well. However, Uranus is opposite the new moon with precision. And that is truly unexpected behavior from a friend or within a group dynamic, feeling as if there's a response or an action that seems to come out of nowhere and maybe provokes you very strongly. It could be a sense of you being very innocent, doing your thing, and a friend, or again, within a group professional dynamic, somebody having a very strong reaction to that. But then vice versa, that could also work out as well. And so just pace yourself at this time. Again, it's almost like I'm seeing whatever shows up. I want to tell you to make sure that you're connecting with people with kindness. I think you would do that anyways. Whatever shows up may not really have any rhyme or reason or connection to reality of the moment or of your actions. But yeah, some of that could be there at this time. However, here's the thing. Very quickly, this moon moves into harmony with Neptune and with Pluto, of course, in your sign for just a few weeks more. That to me is so meaningful because it says whatever comes up, whatever surprises you, you very quickly are able to take it and use it to your advantage in some way. You very quickly are able to tap into it towards grace and understanding. And there's faith here, but there's also an ability to understand how to transform a situation from the inside out. And that can make this especially powerful a time for you. So, friends behaving erratically can happen. It's a new moon, new possibilities, new people coming in out of nowhere. Very refreshing, different energy. You may go to a social event, meet somebody new, and have an interaction with somebody, and that really doesn't work for you. It ends up triggering you in some way, but there's an opportunity there for you to learn about yourself. Dynamics within professional groups can change rapidly. Again, there's truth here. Really being honest about the nature of certain alliances is part of this. And the other layer of understanding having to do with the hopes and wishes for your life and big opportunities. With a new moon, new moons bring in the new. And with the opportunities here, it tends to be in some way connected to who you know. Those big opportunities, if they are going to be part of this time, they literally will feel like they come out of nowhere. And they may spur you to action. It could be the case that you are asking a friend to be spurred to action, to help you to attain a particular opportunity. But that's when the more wild card factor comes up. Some of the best and biggest opportunities literally can feel like they've popped up out of nowhere. and they get a rise out of you, but that rise can be channeled towards their success. As we navigate to the 27th of the month, we get this month's full moon. This full moon takes place in a part of the sky for you that has to do with your daily life. And so this is your work life, but also the habits and rituals as you move through your day. And so if you are somebody in a time of your life where you are working, well, clients, customers, and coworkers can be covered here, along with the type of work, the environment itself. This full moon is opposite Mars. So again, we get this energy of adrenaline and urgency playing out. But it is squaring your ruling planet Saturn. And Saturn is an energy that is rather limiting. It's saying, hold back a little, be strategic, consider the larger gain. But it's also asking you to get honest about the sacrifices you've already made and where certain projects you're just not willing to put in energy or time or sacrifice into it anymore. In many ways, this is a big turning point moment. So again, it could be the projects. There could be changes in the work environment itself. When we have important lunar activity here, there tends to be more activity itself in your day-to-day life. That could be here. However, you just do want to be careful because I just feel there are going to be some Capricorns, they just are at their limit. It's like you get pushed to a certain point and you're like, that's it. You could take this job, or maybe I'm not working with that person anymore. Like, these are some possible scenarios here. But what's also possible here is that a client, customer, or coworker leaves at this time. There's a lot of frustration around. There is that sense of adrenaline as well. If that should happen, and if more work-related opportunities do show up for you, chances are they're going to come with a whole lot more work as well. So it's going to be up to you to decide whether or not it's worth taking those opportunities. This part of the sky having to do with your overall sense of well-being, that could come into focus in some way now. And just know that this energy is about being aware of your limits in some way. You could push yourself way too hard physically, and then life kind of says, okay, you're going to need to rest. You're going to need to recoup and recover in some way as a result. So just make sure that you are pacing yourself at this time, because again, it's almost like out of nowhere you get this surge and you decide to really push. I wouldn't do any kind of, the high intensity interval training. I wouldn't go all in on that right now, especially around this full moon. But if you're into that and you always like to do that, just give yourself a little bit of a window there around the full moon and have at it. Enjoy yourself. This can also have to do with certain reactions to foods that you might eat now. So again, just strive to stay connected to what it is you're feeling is going to move you towards the best sense of well-being, and the answers that are right for you can begin to emerge. Now, where it comes to matters of love, on the 8th of the month, Venus is going to move into the top of your sky and will be here for the coming month. This is where love and respect become intimately tied in some way. And that's going to be the driving desire to have love and respect come together. Where it is that you feel that you have that, this is where love can really blossom. You start moving more and more towards a joint sense of direction and where you're heading. But where it is that that isn't the case, there's a desire for something with longevity here, someone who can really walk a higher destiny with you. And it becomes very hard to compromise as a result, especially during a time like this. Now, I would also add, consider Uranus, right? Uranus, such a big factor in that new moon. And Uranus in that heart-oriented part of the sky for you, that has to do with romance and flirtation. And I think that there could be a romance or flirtation that is part of the surprise, shocking energy of that friendship-oriented new moon for you. So for those of you open to meeting someone new, love and respect being intimately tied, given where Venus is going, sometimes we might attract somebody where there is a significant difference in either status or age. That's some possibilities here. The other is that attracting someone or being attracted to someone who's achieved something that you admire or desire to achieve for yourself. But for all that, that new moon energy, just wow, it does tell me that in an instant, as a result of what's happening with a friend, you understand love differently. What's happening in love speaks to a friendship in some way. And that could be the surprise at this time. It might be that there's somebody you've been flirting with, somebody that you like, and then you find out at the new moon that they're dating a friend of yours, and you find out out of nowhere. One possible scenario or something along those lines could show up here for you. But remember, whatever happens, it is honest, and just keep that higher intention in mind, especially at a time like this, with love and respect being so important that they go together for you now. For those of you just starting to date someone, well, there's a real sense here of wanting to move into an understanding of where you're headed together in a larger sense. That is going to matter to you. But again, we get that new moon energy. I think that whether you're in a social situation with them or whether it's through a friend, some truth, some information comes out, and you get to decide what you're going to do with it. It might just be an opinion that a friend has, but of course it could be more directly related to your connection to them or them as a person. And it could be a big game changer in some way. That new moon is so much about new chapters. It's so much about all or nothing in some ways. And so what you come to learn, what you come to hear, what you come to understand is going to help you to decide whether or not this is someone to navigate forward with. And for those of you in an established bond, what a remarkable time this can be. Friends and love can get messy at this time. The friend might have an opinion about your relationship that misses the nuances that actually are quite important, especially for you. I do think that the energy of Venus in some ways is going to be quite dominant, because it becomes a lot about the shared goals that you have together and that higher sense of where the two of you are going. Where the relationship is strong, well, yeah, it just might represent a little bit of weirdness with a friend around the middle of the month, and it quickly moves on. But also possible is that if it is that you have questioned whether or not you're in the right relationship for you, your answers are really going to come down to respect. If you feel that, that is what's going to keep you there and keep you working on the relationship. What I love about this month for you, there's so much here. It's a valuable and meaningful astrological moment. I am going to say, actually, I'm going to throw in another factor here, and that is the fact that on the 4th of the month, your ruling planet Saturn does go direct. So that is huge in and of itself. It is as if something within you is ready to move forward as well. You get very clear about where your responsibilities are, where your obligations are, and what a more mature approach that fuels healthy self-respect looks like for you. And once you get clear on that, you get to decide what or how much you're going to implement as part of moving yourself and moving your life forward. There's real strength here. There's real insight here. But more than that, the strength is one that is grounded. It is stable. Knowing who it is that you are is one sure way to move towards that self-respect that is your forte now. Well, thank you so much for watching. You can get a video like this each and every week for each and every sign. at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com for as low as just $3 a month with Choose Your Membership rate. Higher tiers get you things like all access passes to Synchronicity University events, consultations with me, and so much more. All of this in the Superstar space at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com. Links are in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. It'll be a great month. Enjoy.